You're listening to the SKYLIT Books podcast. We're an independent, general interest bookstore putting great reads in the hands of people in the Los Feliz neighborhood of Los Angeles. Hosted by resident Skylighters, we're here to bring you new and exciting author conversations, group reads, and bookseller chats. Happy listening.
Hello, my beautiful listeners. Welcome to SKYLIT. This is the SKYLIT Books podcast, and I'm your host, Lance Morgan. Today, I'm so excited to have Sina Grace to talk about his new graphic novel, Rockstar and Softboy. Sina Grace is a writer and artist living in Los Angeles, best known for a prolific library of work that balances slice of life, blockbuster action, and everything in between. His groundbreaking Iceman series at Marvel Comics paved the way for Grace to work on all of his favorites: Jughead's Time Police for Archie, Wonder Woman for DC, Go-Go Power Rangers for Boom Studios, and The Haunted Mansion for Disney IDW. He is currently promoting Getting It Together and Rockstar and Softboy at Image Comics, and a Gotham Girl series of backups in Detective Comics at DC. Sina, what's up?
Hi, oh my God, so glad to be here. This is actually a big deal.
Really?
I'm a long time Skylight customer, and it's very recent that it's become known that I do books, and then Skylight can carry the books, and then the other day, when I went over, I think it was Holly was like, do you want to sign your books? I was like, ah! So I just feel like I'm in this prestigious inner circle now. And so I'm really happy.
No, that's it's so funny because I'm like, oh my God, why do you want to do this? You want to hang out with us trash people? I'm joking. We're not trash people. We are a step above that, booksellers. It's so funny because we're like, oh my God, Sina's so cool. What he likes us weird.
Oh my God, yeah, no, you guys are the cool kids to me, honestly. I'm like, I hope they spent months trying to get everyone to be nice to me. Okay.
It's the complete opposite where we're like, why is he talking to us? He's so cool. We're losers. No, that's listeners. If you ever come to a bookstore and you think that, they think they're cooler than us, we're not. We're just like you, except worse and, tired.
Well, also, yeah, we should let everyone know that we did a pre-recording session at the clubs last night.
Rehearsal, some may say. What is in the musical theater world? We did a pre-show,
table read?
A table read. We did a table read yesterday.
At Akbar, El Cid.
At Akbar, El Cid, the podcast, the queer podcast hubs of Los Angeles. No, listeners, we went out last night. We served Pride. We partied, and that's that. It was fun. I had a great time last night.
Me too. I mean, I feel like we definitely were maybe both one drink away from today being bad, but we didn't get there. We're here.
I remember at one point, either you or my friend Nick, shout out Nick, we're like, oh, do you want one more drink? And I was like, no, because I know where I'm at. And if I have one more, it's over for me. And I think that was that was an adult moment for me, of being self-aware of where I was at that moment. And thank God for it. No.
Proud to know you.
Proud. And that's the meaning of Pride, guys. Happy Pride. Also, Sina, you're our last Pride podcast guest for the month of Pride. What month is it? June? Sure. We should change it to Pride in the calendars, guys. Everyone at home, get your calendars open, scratch out June, and write Pride. Exactly. No, you're our last Pride. You're my last guest for Pride Month. So, it's just congratulations. You win the prize. And you will be getting it. You'll be getting a book at SKYLIT Books for full price. And that's your prize.
Dream. I'm living the dream.
Whatever book you want, that we have there on stock. Just your choice. Wait, you're a member. You're a Friends with Benefits member, so you get the Friends with Benefit discount too.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry to tell.
Just how can it get better? How can it get any better than this?
Listen, you win the prize. Listeners, you can win that prize too if you come to Skylight Books and shop for a book. I promise I will not be telling bad jokes the entire time. Probably. So, Sina, you have a reading for us from your graphic novel. And guys, this is such a treat because he's reading from a graphic novel on a podcast. There's a visual component, there's a literature component, there's a audio component, all 3 senses.
And you do not get the visual component. So I'm reading from my book, Rockstar and Softboy, and this is kind of like a text-heavy portion. At the beginning of the book, there's a little 2-page spread that explains how these 2 characters met. They're BFFs, and they live in sort of like a kind of like high energy, not quite our world. Like there's like witches and zombies and yada yada, but then they're also, going to like Akbar and having a drink. So it's just kind of like I threw everything in the pot and had a blast with it. But yeah, I'll read this to you because luckily the pictures don't add much beyond the vibes. Anyway, here we go. How Rockstar and Softboy met. Many moons ago, Rockstar ended up at a lackluster ABBA tribute show because he thought the Benny was hot. To the corner of his eye, he saw Softboy at the bar alone, wearing a handmade Voyage shirt. Voyage is the kind of meh, but very glad it exists ABBA reunion album. Rockstar loved that someone else appreciated the custody battle disco banger, Keep an Eye on Dan, as much as him. And so this is where the visual comes in. Softboy has on his shirt, it's just very clearly handwritten, Kept an Eye on Dan. Anyway, so for ABBA fans, that's for you.
No, I saw it and I was like, this is for me.
This is where I find my people in real life. So anyway, Rockstar loved that someone else appreciated the custody battle disco banger, Keep an Eye on Dan, as much as him. So much so that he decided to take a chance on a stranger at a gig and strike up a conversation. The pair became inseparable ever since. They did everything together, even volunteering to rid the city of its pesky Tibetan Torgal demon infestation. Rockstar and Softboy weren't just supportive, they made each other better. So here we are today with 2 best friends living together in Hollyweird, making dreams come true on Feverish Boulevard. They spend their days nourishing one another's creativity, Softboy helping Rockstar come up with witty lyrics to songs, and Rockstar being a sounding board for various games Softboy is working on. While they don't necessarily agree on everything, Rockstar will never watch an anime, but takes up too much shelf space with his manga collection. Their situation as roommates and best friends is as perfect as anyone could ever hope for, ever. And then what's really cute is you turn the page and the origin story is actually framed on their walls, and then a one night stand is looking at it. He says, "Huh, informative." So that's how I got away with like an exposition dump as a storyteller.
I mean, it was, a great, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a great intro to the characters. I mean, any ABBA reference is perfect. What else do I need to say other than perfect there? And also I love the Romy and Michelle picture that's there too. Because I'm just like, is that them? Is it Romy and Michelle or is it them? Who can say? That's up for interpretation.
And that's sort of the whole, like, the genesis of the book. That might even be a question you're going to ask, but like this book is very much inspired by my friendship with comic book writer Josh Trujillo. And there's a whole, like, and if you want me to talk about it, like this whole book is created because of spite. We were in a competition together and some stuff went down and this book came out of it. But I also got kind of sick of projecting my queer male friendships onto like cis girl buddy movies, you know, or like, you know, like Abby and Alana, Romeo and Michelle, and it just sort of was like, I don't really, there aren't quite that many like iconic best gay friend duos out there. Like even if you think of like Will and Jack and Will and Grace, like they're not like friendly, they're catty. Like they show, like, you know, there's always like, you know, one episode a season where, you know, Jack does something like kind of selfless, but it's not the same, and it's also 20 years old. Like I think, you know, we need a little update, and I also just sort of wanted to create that space and, you know, take whatever little power I have and like use it to make something I want to read.
And I mean, this is something that I feel like there was that level of authenticity. I hate using that word sometimes. There was affection in it that I felt very it came out of the page very strongly in a way that I was just like, oh yeah, they are an odd couple. It reminded me of the friendship in like Grace and Frankie, where I'm just like, oh, they are a show I love. Please bring it back. Hashtag bring back Grace and Frankie. Start it, guys. No, in a way that I'm just like, they are kind of an odd couple pair who like, you know, they know each other better than anyone else knows them. And it felt very beautiful. There was that part where Rockstar, where the idea of a party goes out, and Softboy's like, I don't know, let me think about it, and Rockstar's like, let me tell you what's gonna happen. In 12 hours he's gonna say yes, and he's gonna think it's his idea. And I'm just like, wow, that's a person who knows his friend just like so well. And it that kind of love and friendship and between like two like queer characters, I loved it. I was ready for like the next volume to pick up and just keep reading their adventures together.
There's gonna be more. And next,
uh,
well, and the gay male friendship thing too is like a big thing. Not that I think I just like had blamed this, or like it didn't affect me, but I know a lot of people do feel some kind of way when like if there's two queer characters in a story together, like chances are they're going to end up together by the end. And for me, it was just like, there's so many factors to like two people in any situation, but like specifically queer people, queer men, like actually being a fit for each other. Like, oh, you know, like that thing in the Sex and the City movie where the gay guys got married, and it was like, what was it? It was like these musical chairs, and like we were the last ones left. And I'm like, there's probably so many incompatibilities. And anyway, the next Rockstar and Softboy story I'm doing is a short story where they go to a wedding, and they keep getting. City? They go to the Sex and City. No, they go to the wedding of Bridezilla and Bridezuki. And I know, hilarious. And they keep getting mistaken for a couple. And so there's a sorcerer character in the book named Sorcerer Stu, and you know, Rockstar's like griping about it because he's just like, we're not each other's type, and Sorcerer Stu is like, I can make you each other's type. And so they do a spell, and the lesson there is like, it's even more than skin deep or surface level why these two, their love for each other does not transcend platonic love. I just wanted to like, and so that's become a thing of it, is like really just like challenging and reiterating that like two queer people can like super duper love each other and never ever have to like bump uglies or whatever Spike says. But anyway, so that's
I mean, that's like something, even you were saying Will and Grace, they like, I feel like there's always that like underlying thing in it where like Jack really wants to be with Will or something like that. There was always that in the show where like, and I mean, it's always the I feel like I've never truly seen a platonic gay friendship, which is something that I feel like is misrepresentative of the like of gay male friendships, and also like kind of harmful because I feel like a lot of gay men internalize that and say, hey, if I'm friends with another gay man, there has to be some sort of like the only way I've seen it in media is there has to be some sort of like underlying like romantic or sexual feelings, where I'm like, it doesn't have to have that. It doesn't, like, we could be friends and have nothing more, right? And that's just as beautiful. And I mean, it's friendship is good. Let's be friends, guys. Let's be friends. No more. All right, I'm outlawing sex. I'm outlawing romance. Only friendship until I get both things, and then we can bring it back. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. Do not come at me with any romance or sexual propositions. I beg you. This is to my listeners.
I just
No,
love letting you talk through that. That was like,
please stop me at any time. Mick, this is for my editor Mick. You can cut that out if you want to. Please do or don't. Keep it a surprise. Back to Rockstar and Softboy. I was about to say Rock Boy and Softstar, which
Multiverse of Madness.
The multiverse of madness. You could do a Freaky Friday situation with them. I would love to see a Freaky Friday situation with them. But their characters are so, I love their characters. I love both of their characters. And I told you before we started this, I see myself as a soft boy for sure, even though I am a Leo like Rockstar is. Like how was it writing these two opposites in a lot of ways, like putting yourself in both perspectives, and like, you know, I'm guessing you see yourself as one more than the other.
Yeah, well, I just, it was really fun, and I know a lot of creative individuals do this where they don't necessarily, like, not everyone can do this, and it's not always the right thing to do when you're making books or art of any kind. But certain projects, it's really beneficial to sort of set a release date without a finished product in hand. And I was really rushing this one down to the wire, and ended up kind of like it was like a fevered like 3-week hustle to like write and draw this book, because I was drawing it and I was writing it, but I thought I wanted to hand draw it, and it's in the back of the book. You see I show a bunch of pages I'd drawn, and then I scrapped it because they were overworked, and there was something wrong about them, and it needed a more simple style. It needed to be a little more animated, and at the time I was trying to draw it like gorillas, like Jamie Hewlett, and I was trying to be like I was just trying to capture something that is like a like pie in the sky, like that's my dream drawing style. And then I had to redraw all of the pages, and then cut some characters out. And there was a dog originally in the book. My dog Henry was going to be in the book, and I was like, but there's a cat that morphs into a woman, so if there's just a regular dog like that, it's just going to be confusing. And so it was fun and it was frantic. And what was great about it was, because I would stay up for days on end, with these like manic drawing nights, I had a lot of time to think about sort of these friendships I've been in, where like I'm the rock star and my friend's the soft boy, and thinking about shit I've been at fault for in those friendships, and then also too thinking of moments where they're not perfect either, because I think it is easy to like look at the bull in the china shop and be like, you're wrong. But I think also, soft boys can be passive aggressive and a little manipulative, and so it was just this, and I wanted to kind of I wanted to look at both of them. And I think the main thing was I wanted to make sure that soft boy was as much of a character and was as fleshed out as Rockstar was, because like the book, for people who, when they get to reading it, the plot is Softboy's in a rut in a lot of ways. So Rockstar is like, oh my God, like, let's throw you a party, let's get you laid. Like, once you get dicked down, like, then, you know, all these other problems will go away, and you'll, you know, have the answers you need. And the party, even though it's kind of like there is a little blatant selfishness in Rockstar's POV, like, he just kind of goes one selfish decision too far and unleashes this mythical creature called the party animal, and the party animal really, really messes things up. And so then, you know, they have a huge friend fight and some old shit comes out, and, you know, that's all I'll say for now. But yeah, I was just, you know, like, I wanted to make sure that in that there was also an arc for Softboy, and like there was stuff for him to bring to the table, and then also that the solution came from both of them, and that the whole thing, I love that you said the word affection, because I do think like that was always my anchor, or like my compass when I was doing this, is just like making sure that queer friend love was the solution to every problem in the book. So, you know, it was like making sure that that sort of was like, you know, like I was like, oh wait, but how did they do this, or where do they go with that? And it was just like, okay, think of it always under the compass of, or, you know, looking at the compass and being guided by that.
It also reminds me, I mean, it reminds me of something you said last night that you told me to record because you didn't want to forget it. And I have it. Do you mind if I play it?
Oh my God, I kind of don't remember. So yeah, please.
Okay. All right. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to put it in the mic so listeners, you can hear it. And I hope it comes through clearly.
Ready. If there are fewer suggestions and more statements, there will be less queer, like, quandaries.
Oh, that's some drunk talk. That I don't even know what that means, but I was so proud of myself. I could hear it. Fewer suggestions, and what did I don't know.
Fewer suggestions and more statements, in the sense, like, I listened to it earlier too. I was showing my I saw one of my other books seller friends, Emily, shout out Emily, and I showed her the video. I was like, we took this video, let me see what it says. I forgot, but we were talking in the concept in the context of your X-Men stories that you've written, and how like the allegory of X-Men is just the X-Men's the metaphor on like othered people, and how like how I felt like the Marauders in your Iceman, one of your Iceman runs. I can't speak today. I can do this. It's just like, it's a metaphor for like the trans non-binary community being ousted by a lot of the more cis gay men community, or just cis queer community. And like you were saying how like, and I was like talking about how like the X-Men throughout the years, yada yada yada, and you were saying that like we need to stop suggesting things more and like coming up with vague ideas of stuff and really just say it, and like be very like real about it. And I think I don't know if that, again, I was also, you know, a little drunk, so I'm pretty sure that's what we were talking about when you brought that up. And another shout out to Emily, she was like, oh yeah, that's the same thing they were doing with like the new season of Stranger Things, with the character of Will being like, is he gay? Who knows? We never know. And it's like, no, stop, make statements. And I feel like with Rockstar and Softboy, the solutions being queer friendship for like their problems, you know, that's a statement. That's not like suggestion, ooh, you know, it could be their queer relationship, but it could also be this or this. No, it's their friendship, their queer friendship. And that's a statement, I feel like.
Yeah, yes, I wouldn't have bridged that to this book, but yes, I agree. And now I totally understand what I said last night. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm done living in the metaphor. I think metaphors are cool for a lot of things, but I also love statements.
Statements are great. And, really the person who we need to thank is you from last night. That was all you.
That's something I say a lot.
Congratulations.
Thanks, past me.
Thanks, Pasina. Shout out. Kind of, not to veer off fully from Rockstar and Softboy, but we could. I want to bring up the X-Men of it all too, because your X-Men Iceman run, and I also do want to bring up Spider Bitch because yes, yes, I know about that, and yes, I want to bring it up.
It's on my Wikipedia page now. It's so weird. Like, also, yeah, I have shout out my Wikipedia page.
What a shout out Wikipedia. Woo! Being, it's pride. Whenever this is my pride campaign speech. Whenever I don't know things and I need to really figure it out quick, I go to Wikipedia. That's why this pride, I'm shouting out Wikipedia for, oh my God. What if Wikipedia was my pride sponsor? What would that be?
There's a good joke there, but you're gonna have to you walk that path yourself, because I'm out.
I got nothing.
I'm out of witty ideas.
I mean, I can't do another one. I'm tired, guys. I can't be on all the time. This is gonna turn to therapy for me. So when I was 5, no, I'm joking. But your Iceman run, I love the stuff you've done with Iceman, especially since for the non Marvel readers, I don't understand you or get you, and if you're not, run to your local comic book store. They're everywhere. But there was a run in the X-Men series where the young X-Men and the new X-Men came together and had like a fun zany time together. It also birthed one of my favorite groups, which is the Champions, or helped birth it. But throughout that series, young Iceman came out. Stop me if I'm wrong with any of this, because I forget any important details. But because young Iceman comes out, older Iceman's like, wait, I was gay this entire time. Cool.
I think so. As I remember it going down, basically, yeah, there are time displaced young X-Men in the present day of our current X-Men, and so the current X-Men are all in their late 20s, early 30s, and Jean Grey reads Bobby Drake's mind, and she's like, "You're gay," and he's like, "No, maybe I'm bi," and she's like, "No, you're gay." And then they kind of go to the older Iceman, and they're like, "Well, if I'm gay, you're gay." And then he's like, "Oh my God, I have to just be honest. Yes, I am. I've been trying to deny it, or keep it to myself all these years, but yeah, I am." And so Marvel at that point, they were like, "Yeah, Bobby came out of the closet, and we didn't do anything with it. What would you do with an Iceman series?" And I didn't really realize I was properly pitching, and so I just kind of thought about dudes I dated who came out in their late 20s, early 30s. And I also thought a lot about comedians, stand-up comics, and just sort of people who make funny for a living. They're usually the most anguished people inside. They usually have the most pain, and they just hide in plain sight, and they hide in plain sight. Sorry, I had to do that. I hate Me Too. Don't worry. But at any rate,
I wouldn't have stopped.
We're moving. You. No, I thank you. But and so I just kind of said that. I was like, yeah, he's just sort of, the guy who's in the most pain, is the one doing the most dancing, and he's been this funny guy for years, and yeah, he now has to deal with it and confront it and take it on. And they were like, "Cool, you got the series," and I was like, "Wait, what?" So so I did that, and the book was a weird time at Marvel, and a weird sort of just process, because they didn't quite know what they wanted, but they knew what they didn't want. And I knew what I wanted, and it didn't always align. And so the book got canceled, and then it did really well in the book market. Thank you, bookstores.
Woo.
And I even said that to them. I was like, because I studied creative writing in school. So as a comic book writer, I do myself a disservice because I typically structure things like a novel where I assume the reader is going to give me, you know, the first few chapters to like lay down some groundwork or whatever, and really let you get to know the characters before I start, you know, moving things around the chessboard. And you can't really do that in comics. You kind of have to like blow something up in the first 20 pages, or the reader's like skipping the book. So again, yeah, once it went to an audience that was willing to give it the whole book, the whole first volume, then it did well. And it got written up by the New York Times twice in print. And so anyway, yeah, we got a third volume, which is the one I gave you. It got brought back. And at that point I had a little more confidence in myself, and I kind of advocated for stories that I wanted to tell. And I think what was important to me at that time, because one of the best bits of advice I did get from an editor was like, I had my heart set on sort of, you know, trying to find a love story for Bobby Drake. And the editor was like, everyone wants to do that and everyone can do that. Like, you should be thinking about like a bigger story that speaks to like what, you know, like we're in our community, like what we're actually going through and what we're actually thinking about. Like, that's going to be more impactful than like you shipping Bobby with somebody. And so from there, I really thought about that and sat with that. And once I got through the assignment of like, he's got to come out to his parents, he's got to learn to accept himself, like it then became about like him being able to look outside of himself and see, you know, what the fuck is going, like what else is going on. And, you know, it's about him just like not being so self-centered. And I think that that's a thing for all of us, is like, you know, it's really easy to like writhe in your main character energy and to like, you know, definitely think about your own woes. But I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So it became about that. And I really wanted to expand sort of like the queer cast, the overt out, you know, statement queer cast in the books. And I wanted to repair some relationships, you know, because again, like Jean Grey had outed him. And then for any X-Men fans too, there was this really, really rich thing that happened between the White Queen Emma Frost and Bobby Drake like 20 years ago, where, you know, she like lived in his head, and, you know, she just kept like being like, you know, the reason you're not a great mutant is because you're a fucking pussy. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah, you're fucking like hiding, you like little sissy. And I got to come back to that because her brother, oh god, I always forget this. What's it called when you go to like camp to like pray the gay away? Conditioning
conversion
conversion
therapy?
yeah
Conversion camp,
her brother Christian Frost was one of the first out gay characters in the X-Men universe, and he has so much trauma from, you know, conversion therapy and an abusive dad. And so I got to like bring him in and have this moment between Bobby and this like stone cold asshole, you know, Emma Frost. And, you know, he was just like, you're in my head, how come you didn't out me? And she was like, just like, I'm evil, like I want to like take over the world, not like air your dirty laundry, like that's ridiculous, like, you know. And that's like but it's also her thing of compassion, of just like, because I understand what this is for you, like I'd rather like, you know, I'd rather like kill you in a fight than like out you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just a really cool moment, and I was really glad to be the one to do that, you know what I mean? And to like be the one to have them have that conversation. So yeah, that came out, and I was really happy with it. And now I'm just talking, but like, yeah, then Marvel and I had some like beef about the drag queen character I created, and then also this character Madden in the book is like, and I hate this, like Madden is so clearly non-binary, and Marvel would not let me use a they them like would not let me throw just a single them at one point, or a single they, like just one, just to get that one, you know, like just to have it in the gosh darn book. And so after those two experiences, I was like, I don't know, I don't like this. I don't like working for you people. Like, I just, you know, it's that thing of you, like, I tried so hard to have these people like me and they never did. And, you know, it just was like, I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to keep, like, I don't know. So I sort of, like, you know, said some stuff on the internet about them to make absolutely sure I would never work for them again. But I, you know, accountability is huge, you know, accountability over entertainment.
And that's like, I mean, that's admirable. And because I feel like not a lot of creators would walk away from Marvel in that public a way too. And I mean, they are powerful to say the least. And also to, like, I mean, to get that last word in, to be like, oh, I am going to go back into Bobby's past, and like, because I feel like those things that you revisited were like not mistakes, what's the word I'm looking for, were like ways that they let the character down, that you were also trying to, like, you know, have him come to terms with, or have the characters come to terms with. I mean, Jean Grey really girl bossed him. She really said, hey, F word, F slur. And I'm just like, Jean, oh, she's so annoying. But also,
yeah, she's a little Meg Stalter. She's a little like, hi gay.
Hi gay. She really is, isn't she? That is Jean. Where Emma Frost is like, this bitch again. Like, I mean, Emma Frost time and time again has proven to me that she is a superior character than Jean Grey. But like, who said that? It wasn't me. No, I'm that is a tweet though. Jean Grey's Meg Stalter. So hold on, there we go. I just had to, like, text that to myself. No,
okay, yeah.
That is true. That is true. And Marvel, cast Meg Stalter as your next Jean Grey. I want to see it. The audience wants to see it. She would be a great Jean Grey. She would bring something I feel like Jean Grey's been lacking. And like,
yeah, Jean Grey's real fucking like Blake Lively, like just like sort of so vanilla bland.
My favorite thing that the fans, I think the fans and the X-Men fans they're all queer. We're all queer. Like even the fanboys who were like, no, I want my Wolverine, I want to see this way. I'm like, yeah, because that's queer. Like you just want to. I can go into it all day, but like even the throuple between Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Scott is really, the fans are like, we really want Wolverine and Scott. In Jean Grey's, I guess, there, but like it's really about Logan and Scott, you know, finally burying the hatchet, because they've had so much sexual chemistry with each other throughout the years. And I mean, let's do it, guys. And I think Meg Stalter will be great in that role to bring them together. But also,
I feel that.
Yeah. Meg Stalter would be like, it'd be like, yes, let's go, let's do this. Logan's kiss Scott, get into it. She would just like orchestrate the entire thing. Marvel, like, I know you and Sina have a lot of history, but I am willing to come in and, you know, really chaotically, you know, introduce some ideas. So hit me up. They wouldn't do that. I would be fired within a day. No, I mean, your Iceman stuff. One, thank you for also bringing back Spider-Man and his amazing friends, kind of that trio, because that was a very important part of my childhood, and it was also devastating to watch them die in the Spider-Verse series. It was like a thing where I was like, oh my god, did they die? Did they kill Spider-Man and his amazing friends? What? And then I saw this, I was like, thank God, there's still hope. No, thank you for that. But like, I just to see Bobby be like a young queer mutant, just like to like, and also being accountable for like how the X-Men treat other mutants too. It was felt refreshing because the X-Men kind of are, I mean, recently they've done kind of a better job with it, but like, yeah, they are very inclusionary. They are very, we are the gold standard of mutants. And
yeah, it's a very, yeah, like I did when I did a little digging and talking about sort of like the level, like the just not even like subtle like statistics of like how many like unhoused queer kids are trans and non-binary, and like, and then just
yeah.
thinking about our, like our relationships with like, I don't know, like it just was never in my orbit, this sort of, because I'm very, like punk music, and I'm drawn to thicker men, so therefore I'm like usually at alternative bars. I also don't live in West Hollywood, so like I didn't really like realize just like how intensely cliquey and white, or like only these acceptable minorities can the gay scene be, until actually like this last Pride, especially because I've been in a bubble for 2.5 years, and then I went to West Hollywood Pride, and suddenly like and a friend was like sort of like, we were dancing to Muna, and then he like like put an arm around me, or like had his hand on my back, just because we were like feeling the music, and like he's like a gym gay, and like it was like the first time I had like body dysmorphia was when his hands were like touching like somewhere soft on me, and I was like, oh my god, I need to go cut, I need to go like get some protein shakes.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, well, you were even saying that at Hot Dog last night, and I was like, no, what are you talking about? And then I like looked around and was like, oh yeah, huh? Because I just like that's, I'm just not, yeah, it's the same thing as the sort of like gay shipping of pop culture. I guess I just like, my eyes like glaze over what it doesn't care about. But at any rate, yeah, so yeah, just talking about that was important to me, and letting that be a metaphor was fine, you know what I mean? Like, because if everything else is a statement, then you can kind of really have fun with the metaphor and make it so people who aren't in our scenes or having our dialogues can also project their issues or their versions of that stuff onto it. So yeah, it's my favorite volume, and I'm a little angry now with myself that I campaigned so hard to have it be a number 3. They were going to have it just be a new volume 1 for the bookshelves. And at the time I was fighting, because I was like, this is a book market book. Like, you don't see Harry Potter going like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, like I was like, people are going to have this on a shelf. And yes, like I was right, but there is a part of me that's like, it is really hard for me to then just tell someone like, oh, you don't even need the first 2 volumes, just go buy volume 3. Like, people get uncomfortable doing that because they think they're missing some story. And
like, listeners, as a person who read 3, it is really like, there's so much great in it. I was gonna say good, but like it's great. There's so much greatness in it that like, yeah, go pick it up right now. Go clicking in your heels. I'm assuming all of the listeners that listen to this podcast and love X-Men have heels, the intersectionality there. Go put on your stilettos, and I want to hear clicking to the local comic book store, and to buy Iceman, the 2019, right? Or 17?
Yeah, Yeah,
19.
and I don't, yeah, it's 19. I don't know. Time is a flat circle.
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
volume 3, Amazing Friends.
Amazing Friends. And the cover, for all you oldies like me, for all you like lovers of old Spider-Man cartoons, you will love the cover because it is it is
Scott
amazing.
Forbes did such a good job on that cover. Oh my god! And
It's
even
such a good
even the
cover.
art in that book, we had Nate Stockman drawing it, and he and I were really aligned. Like he was like, that book had like I think 4 or 5 artists at the end of the day, and Nate was the only one that really understood that like for as many emotional beats as there were, like drama beats, there had to be humor, and he was probably the best at capturing the humorous moments in the series.
That I mean, Bobby, I mean, one thing about Bobby for me, he's always been the Spider-Man of the X-Men. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of is. He's very
he's very funny.
Quippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a quippy superhero. So yeah, go check it out. It's great. But the last thing I wanted to talk about with you is like I feel like in your stories you're attracted to like the idea of friendship and like relationships that are not, I mean, there are like romantic and sexual relationships in there, but like the heart of it is just like intimacy in all types of way. And I mean, the two I'm really like, I mean, Rockstar and Softboy, as we said, has that so much. And even getting it together, which you worked on, I feel like there's just a lot of family in it. There's like a lot of ideas of like what a family can look like past. And Rockstar and Softboy, I love the larger cast of it too. Like Meow Meow was great. The I pronounced that right? Meow.
Yeah, you did great. You did great. That's how my French brother-in-law referred to our family cat Amelia, because we'd call her Meow Meow, and then that's how he would spell it.
Meow. No, I was just like, who is she? I want her story. So if you ever want to spin off story,
no, I'll send you the Legend of Meow Meow. It's I made a little zine that says her story. I'm sending it to you. Oh my god,
yes, please,
I cannot wait to tell you.
Legend
it's so weird.
She is she's just, I love her, where she's just like, oh, I'm a cat now, I have cat things to do, bye. She just transforms and leaves them. I'm just like, oh, she's cool. Is she like a familiar for them? Because I was just like, she has a very like Salem vibe from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And
I don't think so. I honestly think she's just a freeloader, and I think like that's my favorite thing about her is like she just kind of like started hanging out with, actually you find out they met as she and Rockstar met at Lenny Kravitz's Krav Maga con weekend or something. Like I know, I just like
that sounds
you know you're watching too much like 30 Rock bullshit when you're just like coming up with these like long-winded like references that don't exist.
And that's like, and 100% I get that. That's my humor. That's like, the other day someone was like, oh, I just feel like I'm pronouncing this word wrong, and they said, and I just looked at them and go, is it Pam? Someone was just like, please. They were like, what? And I was like, I have to walk away right now. This is not like, you've embarrassed yourself in a way that hurts me. No, sorry, that's my 30 Rock. That's my only 30 Rock reference this episode, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go into why Muffin Top is the best song ever made. Nope, not today. You can subscribe to the Patreon, where I'll give you a 3-hour explanation on that. But yeah, Meow Meow, please send me that scene. That sounds like so much fun. And she is the icon. She is the moment. She really just like, oh, I love her. But yeah, there's like in other characters too, even Softboy's like co-worker combination. Like he felt like, I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely like, I feel like in a way, even though it starts with Rockstar hooking up with him, felt like, the like chosen family kind of character too. where like he, I mean, saves the day at the end as well. And like I love that. I love that. And then getting it together as well, there's the idea of like, what does these characters, what is intimacy, where you kind of like, where and it was there were two other writers on it too.
Oh no, just me and this guy Omar. And then
Oh,
but Jenny D Fine handled 90% of the art chores, and I handled flashbacks and then like a
gotcha.
standalone last chapter.
Yeah.
Um
But it's
but yeah, I sorry, I'm gonna just cut you off because
no,
you
cut
told
me
me I
off.
could. Um
Yes.
I just am really, well, I love people. Like I love people, and I love kind of like learning about the best of us, like the things that make us wonderful, and I like to shine a light on that. And and that's how that's kind of like how you understand darkness, is by you know truly understanding like beauty and light. And so I just try to I try to shine a light on like what we owe each other. And I'm obviously just processing my own life and answering my own questions with these books. And I think I'm at a point where some of my friendships are really important and meaningful, and they go away so quickly if the wrong thing happens, or and or they don't, or you go through really tough chapters and you figure it out. And um I guess, yeah, I just like, even if I was tasked with writing like, hey, like, you got to write the next Infinity War, I think I would still just be focusing on how the characters feel about the
Mhm.
Infinity War rather than them like fighting things. I think I always just come back to like exploring people, and trying to find them. And Alan Moore had said something somewhere in an interview about how he did like a signing back when he still did signings, like in a really sort of backwoodsy part of America. And some kind of like rednecky looking dudes came up to him, and this was around his like Swamp Thing, and they like really loved it. And they, he was worried that he was going to get flack or something, but at the end of the day, he's just like, I write every character as if I love them. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you have, and so that's the way you can kind of get some meaningful stories, is like loving even the like shitbag side characters.
Mhm.
That's at least what I try to do.
I mean, I felt that even like those, even the characters at the party in Rockstar and Softboy, um, felt like, yeah, I was just like, oh, each one of them I would invest time into. I would, the witch who brought the amulet from Beyonce's Coachella, which like, of course, that I was like, would there be a party demon? And I feel like, who's more powerful? The party is it the party monster or the party demon? Party monster.
Party animal.
Party animal. I got party right. The party animal or Beyonce at Coachella? Who's more powerful? And I
Oh,
mean,
Beyonce.
yeah, it's Beyonce. It's Beyonce. And like, I would love to see that fight. I mean, if you're going to write it, I'm shooting. This is a free idea. Um,
I know, but even though she's a public figure, I still feel like her ass would like cease and desist me so quick.
but isn't that worth it? That's a free Beyonce autograph. Um,
It's more like whoever her lawyers are, but yeah, I would still just to even have her lawyer's autograph in a PDF.
and
Um,
that's how lucky to be that person. uh no, that'd be, I would, if honestly, if you were like, I'm going to court with this just to see Beyonce, like um
that's
you're
that's like a new level. She'd just be like, "No, we're settling. No, we're settling." I'd be like,
no,
"No, come on, let's go."
no, we're going to court. You're gonna have your Legally Blonde moment with Beyonce at the other side of it. You get to tell Beyonce, did you it's like, interesting that you were in the showers after you just got a perm. And that's how you win the case. And then you get to perform on Coachella with Beyonce. um That's how
manifesting.
I'm really manifesting. My therapist would be so proud of me. Um, but no, like there was stuff like that character, the the zombies, the zombies showing up early was so funny. There was just like, there were things that I was like, oh, these are not, I want to live in this world. I want to live in this world, and I kind of do. And you paint a great LA picture. Even in the Iceman stuff, I was like, is this New York, or is this like kind of an LA? Like the underground marauders kind of felt like a, the LA like outcasts that exist in the city, and that people
Oh yeah,
are.
those were definitely like my like Echo Park like gutter trash friends. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and they need to be called out, and we should name them. The list will be on my Patreon. Subscribe. No, if there is an LA, there is also, I love your LA vibes. Like you feel like an LA writer in a way that, a lot of LA. There's, who am I trying to, like, Eve Babbitts in a way. You might be would you call yourself the Eve Babbitts of the graphic novel LA scene?
Shit, yeah. I mean, I've slept with as many people.
Oh my God.
No,
Please make
I
it a
haven't.
contest between you and Eve. I mean, I'll
Well,
get a
she's
Ouija
dead,
board.
so now I can. Yeah, unless her ghost is fucking like getting some Me Too action and like ghost raping. I can definitely catch up to her fast. Yeah, well, I also did a book called Ghosted in LA, which I really, really, really love. It's from Boom Studios, and that's also available at all bookstores. And I really love that book. And I love LA. And it's actually funny. I saw Anna Dorn speak at SKYLIT last week, promoting her new and exquisite book, Exalted. And she had mentioned something that like I didn't really think about, and she was just sort of like, there aren't a lot of like great books set in LA. And at first I was like, no. And then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I guess movies and TV shows take place in LA, but books don't really get that. And I haven't been, that hasn't been like an active part of my journey, but now that you say it, I guess it's there, like I think I remember when I did Ghosted in LA, like the editor-in-chief there or something was just like, I am so excited to see Los Angeles like through your POV. And it was really great. And I learned something really beautiful. Like I was like, well, what makes LA different than other cities besides the obvious like joke of like traffic and the great weather? And I was like, oh, well, because like the film industry is right here, the arts community really thrives. And the whole book is about this young girl who's living in a apartment complex full of ghosts, like coming into her own and figuring out who she is outside of like the jurisdiction of her parents or the pressures of like her ex-boyfriend. And she learns that she like kind of loves animation, and she wants to be in animation. And so the whole book is like peppered with her seeing like femmes thriving in different art communities. Like I had Jamie and Caitlin from the Bechdel cast in the book, and they even wrote their dialogue. Like, and then I have her go to a concert to see Rosie Tucker play, and then there's someone else that she sees. She sees Vico Ortiz do drag, and it was great because these are all real people, and we just, they were all super cool. They signed the release, and so I got to put real tangible examples of these folks like really making art on their terms. And then that allowed this character to be like, oh yeah, and that's an LA thing, right? Like I just went to Santa Barbara for a day. There's like no art scene there. Like it is tiny, and it is not, I don't want to be mean. It is not, it's just not, it's not expanding the dialogue, I would say. Like I would think, they're doing good work up there, and they all actually, there's like a lot of love for like the tradition of screen printing up there. But I would say that like it's different here. You know what I mean? Because it's competitive, it's there's a lot of community, and because of the animation of it all, like it's quick. Like people are doing really interesting quick art here that you don't get everywhere else.
Ooh, and that's so true. And that's so beautiful. I mean, what a beautiful LA picture to paint.
I know some poor idiot is going to be listening to this in like Missoula, Montana, and be like, oh my God, that sounds great. And then they're going to come here and be like, oh, this sucks. No one will ever meet up with me. They don't respond to my text. They just say we should get coffee, and they never get coffee.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I just saw like Natalie Portman on the street and she hit me with her car. Oh my God, it's not what I thought it would be. Miley Cyrus lied to me. She said it would be a party. It's so funny. My sister lives out here too. When she first got here, she was like, what did it say in the song? I turned to the right and I see the Hollywood sign. She's like, I was on my left. It was a lie. It was a lie. And Miley Cyrus lied to me in that song, and I don't trust music anymore. Or LA. And you know, I think that speaks volumes to LA, and I think Miley Cyrus needs to atone for her crimes.
You heard it here first.
I'm just saying. All right, Sina, I'm sad to say we have to end, but wow, this has been such a fun time. The time has just flew by.
I had a great time today, and yeah, thank you so much for giving me the chance to talk about books and art with the SKYLIT community. This is, again, dream come true.
Oh my God, same back to you. It's so great to talk to you about your work. It's insane to me that you're like so just like humble about doing this, where I'm like, don't you write for Image and Marvel and DC? Like, you're talking to you is something that like a 13-year-old me who was reading one of the flashpoints, I don't know, or Crisis on Earth or something like that, and being like, oh my God, this is how do people do this? I don't get it. Like, how like it does. The most like magic and talented people in the world do this. So talk to you, I'm talking to one of those talented and magical people right now. It's crazy. They exist in the world I existed. That doesn't make sense. So thank you for proving that I exist, and this is the proof of my existence, guys. Please don't listen to this if you're my therapist. No, this has been a pleasure. Please, if you're listening, come to SKYLIT Books because we have signed copies of Rockstar. That's how that's actually the pronunciation of it now. I'm sorry, Sina, to make that decision for you. Rockstar and Softboy. Go to grab a signed copy at SKYLIT or wherever you go get your graphic novel or book fixes. Please grab yourself a copy. It's so much fun, and there's so much more in this world that I'm excited to see. And also go grab Iceman Volume 3, Getting It Together, all of Sina's work. You can grab it at SKYLIT Books too. You can get it all.
Whatever you don't have, you'll order for them.
And that's
at the convenient price of full price. At the convenient price of full price.
You heard it here first. We're actually running a sale where if you buy a book, you pay full price for it. Starting now. What a deal. What a steal. So do you have any last words you'd like to say to our listeners and the SKYLIT community that you are also a part of?
To my SKYLIT family, thank you for having me. Also, signed first edition club, really loved it, really loved being a part of it. Also, everyone who works at SKYLIT is a really cool human being, and I'm just glad they're my friends now.
You've heard it first. We're friends, and that's on record. So legally, you can't take that back. Or else I'll see you in court and represented by Beyonce. As you didn't know this, but she's a lawyer now.
I'm coming with my attorney, Kim Kardashian.
Oh my God, the showdown of the century. Oh my God. I hope it ends with Jay-Z and Kanye doing a reunion concert. But
oh
like,
my God, yes. The
I mean,
courtroom opens up and we're actually in Dodger Stadium.
oh my God. I think we're painting a beautiful picture. I'm not saying this should be your next project, but I'll sign off on it. And
you're
listen,
like, I'm not saying we're unhinged, but we're unhinged.
And if Kim Kardashian and Beyonce want to come sue us, you know where to find us. I'm representing myself. God, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. Thank you again, listeners, for coming in. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much. Listen to our past episodes. We've had some great guests. And if you've listened before, thank you for coming back. Hopefully you'll come back again after listening to this episode. I'm so sorry, guys. No, this has been a great episode, and you all have a great and beautiful rest of your day. I love you all, and see you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Skylight Books podcast series. Please don't forget to visit our website at skylightbooks.com and make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more author talks and bookseller conversations. You can find us on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Stay safe and healthy, and we hope to see you back in our store soon.